We are back with Dallas Ducks hockey this week. This is the first issue of 2014. I forgot or lost track of what issue this actually is, so we're going to call it number 1 of 2014. I'm joined tonight by head coach Bill Zaniboni. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks.
And Bradley Hefner, one of the key players in the team, first team all-league defender from last year, and one of the key guys this year. Welcome, Bradley.
Hey there.
Okay, so first of all, the biggest news in town, it's been a long time since we've been on, but a couple of big coaching switches, I guess, if you want to call it that. Emotional departure this week for Jake Hebeisen, one of the few original members of the team that was still around, and a good friend and colleague of you, Bill Zaniboni. You guys kind of forged a relationship beginning last year, and it's tough to say goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you always want the best for people, and I think at the end of the day, that's what you look at is you know, he made a really good move for himself and hopefully his future. And, you know, friendships will always remain. So, you know, I think that's the main thing, and I know all of our guys will keep in touch with them, and it's important. You know, he had a hard time saying goodbye to everyone, but at the end of the day, it was the right move, I think, to make.
Yeah. I like the way you summed it up when I talked to you earlier this week. You've been through this stuff as a professional hockey player, having to say goodbye to a lot of colleagues, whether it's you leaving or them leaving, and you said you looked at it as like a trade, and it's not forever. You're forging a lot of friendships, and it's just a new chapter for him, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to have a new adventure in life, and you only live once. I mean, you gotta be able to, you know, enjoy everything that comes at you and make it a positive thing. And you know, I think when this opportunity arose, you know, he really battled with it, but at the end of the day, he looked at it as, you know, he has nothing holding him back and nothing tying him down, and this is a good chance for him to get out to the country and meet new people.
Yeah, and the good news is, the guy who you know, was in his third year with the team, more or less led the black and silver of the Dallas Ducks, is going to be still helping in whatever ways he can from, as he said, from 1,000 miles away. He'll obviously be looking at the talent there and might become a key player in the summer again, who knows. Bradley, as a defenseman, you did work closely with Coach Hebeisen and on the PK. Just a strong relationship there for you two, I would think.
Absolutely. We're gonna miss him a lot. He's just like, as far as a coach, he's a great coach, and he's just a good guy to have, you know, around. He definitely will always be a Duck in my mind, and I'll keep in touch with him. I told him I was gonna, you know, text him and ask him every couple weeks or so, because I know he's gonna watch, so I'm gonna text him and ask him what I need to fix and what he sees that I don't see, stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. So one door closes, another one opens almost immediately. They literally probably passed each other on the interstate. Jake Hebeisen, a great assistant coach, moves on to a new chapter where, by the way, if you weren't aware, he's going to be, I'm not sure what the actual position is called, but it's basically like an arena manager in Vail, Colorado, a tourist town in Colorado, very ritzy community, I think, and very big rink there. So Jake leaves town. 24 hours later, Kevin Philback, sort of a great fixture on the team a year ago, who was the offensive coach and the power play coach, returns to the Dallas Ducks. And for both you two, Coach and Bradley, your relationship with him actually goes back to your Bozeman days. So again, emotional and very happy, I'm sure, to have him back in with the team.
Yeah, I think it's exciting for all the guys that have played underneath Coach Philback. You know, he brings a lot to every aspect of the game. I think, you know, the real benefits that guys are going to see is how much individual work he can really bring to each player, and what he can help them on and develop them in a short period of time. So it's always good to have someone back that you're familiar with, someone back that, you know, that showed loyalty to you know, people, you know, myself individually, but also the program. And that guy's trust right away, so he can come in and the guys that have played for him before understand that he's here for the right reasons, and that's the biggest issue I think when a coaching change happens is having the guys believe in someone right away. So I think it's important that he came in. Obviously, I'm excited. This will be my third year working with him as a staff, so I'm excited. He's a great guy. He's a good friend. He's excited about being a part of what we've started this year. So hopefully we can finish it.
And Bradley, I guess, he was his expertise has always been in the offensive area of the game, so maybe didn't work real closely with him, but still, like a good friendship and just a guy that you've respected for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, regardless of where he works on the bench and stuff like that, he can help any part of your game, really, as far as skating, shooting, vision on the ice. However, and he'll take time out of his day to work with you individually. I saw it with myself, my brother, a couple guys last year that were, before practice, after practice, midday, whenever you could get on the ice with him, he would go and he would help you work on stuff that you need to fix.
And Kevin was going to join us tonight, but I think he got called away at the last minute. I'm sure you'll be seeing his face on these broadcasts in the future, which we hope will be a regular thing once again, coming up with the coaches and the players as we head into the home stretch of the season. Coach, kind of a weird, quirky schedule, really for about the last, I want to say since Thanksgiving almost.
Yeah.
I really felt like you were the team was at its best through those first 10 weeks or so of the season when you knew where you were going to go. It was all league, every weekend you were either on the road or at home, and that seemed like that was the best part of the season. Really, since around Thanksgiving, there's been a lot of great adventures for the team with the college trips, time off, different sort of, like you had a tournament last weekend, a lot of different sort of side things that have helped the players, but the continuity has maybe gone a little bit. It seems like right now with the light at the end of the season getting bigger and bigger, you must be looking forward to these last 13 games where you're going to just get the focus back on Minnesota Hockey League.
Yeah, I think that that would go for almost every hockey player. The hockey players are big into routine.
Yeah.
So when you're practicing every week and you're playing every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's not that it's comfortable, but it's something that you're familiar with and you're used to preparing for, and you understand what the practice week is going to be about and what the gym's going to be about that week. It gives people, I guess, a purpose. And it's tough when you talk to an 18-year-old kid because there's no purpose there. What's the incentives? And that's what we try to strive on when we have this, this kind of kick up in our schedule. So yeah, I'm excited. We got it's tough because we're off this weekend. Next weekend we only play one on Sunday in Edina. So next week in practice, it's gonna have to be really focused on. I think it's gonna start with myself and the staff, and lead down, all the way to every player that we're getting ready for a really big 2 points actually in our book, and I think that finishes us off with the season series in Edina or against Edina, and and then we got 9 games at home, and everything's so important now. You would like to think with 5 losses that you're probably sitting comfortable, but we're not, and that's something that the message has to get passed down through everyone is we're not comfortable, and once you get comfortable, that's when your season can come to a real close call or an end. So it's something that we're going to try to take pride in, and we got a good group of guys here where I think our focus is gonna stay strong on the goal.
Right. And has there been any talk among the players, Bradley, that this stretch coming up now, they're going to really need run to the finish line, the regular season? Must be exciting. You guys must be talking a lot about where you want to be at the end of the regular season and things like that.
Yeah, you're always thinking about it. You don't want to talk about it as much, because some guys are superstitious with jinxing
Okay,
it and stuff
okay.
like that. But you're always thinking about like who's in first place, who's in 8th place, like who you're gonna play, who's gonna play who. Thinking about stuff like that, but we just mainly try and focus on ourselves because that's the only thing you have control of. So we just want to win the 13 out of 13. We only need 8, but we'd rather have all 13 of them.
Well, the nice thing about this team that I've noticed, and this is my own personal sort of observation, I guess, but I think that when you have a start to the season like you did, and you touched on it, Bradley, too, with the superstition and stuff like that. You want to figure out what it is that got you to that place, and you want to stay there. You want and you want anything to change. And if hard work is worth anything, then this team is going to be successful. Because when I'm here and I watch you guys practice for 2 hours and then stay after. Coach Zaniboni, you've got a string of players wanting to work on things individually with you for another hour after that. We have an optional skate right now. We have half the team out there. And they're not just scrimmaging. They're working on things. They're doing drills. And this team is working hard to stay at the level that they're at right there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we stress a lot of things to our guys, and one is what Bradley actually talked about is the only thing you can control in life is yourself. And that's what we try to focus on every week. We always give, a sheet on the other team, like a scouting report, but at the end of the day, it's how we're going to overcome everything and what we're going to do and how we've prepared. And the other thing is we always talk about pride with our guys. And that's something, hopefully, that it's just a life lesson and we'll carry on through that no matter what we have in front of us for the rest of our lives. But I think these guys have a lot of pride in what they've accomplished, as of the date, and I don't think that they've gotten satisfied a lot, which is a good thing. And guys push each other, and the accountability is starting to show. As you would see in a veteran group that thinks they can do something special, and we got to get back to taking it game by game and hard work, like you said. If everything's going to rely on hard work, we'll be okay. Because if you compare teams from last year to this year, when you watch our group that we have this year, there's no one on the ice that you're starstruck about, that you think something's going to happen every time they get the puck. Like Nick Albergo was that guy for us last year.
Yeah, right.
Where we knew that anything can happen when he was on the ice. And this year, it's we've been winning a lot of games tight. And to me, that's not a bad thing. I mean, we're going to have to find ways to win, and we have. And that's an important characteristic of a team going to the playoffs.
I would think from your perspective, Bradley, I mean, it's good to stay sharp. You guys are in the gym all the time. You're on the ice. But when you do come back, I assume Monday or Tuesday next week, and it's a dyna on your radar, it's going to feel good to be working towards a specific goal that week.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, like we were talking about earlier, it's a lot easier when you know what's up next, stuff like that, instead of just kind of an everyday routine just to pass the time. But yeah, it's good to have something to focus on and know that, I mean, it doesn't matter what place they're in. We've played them to 2 or 3 close 1-goal games. They have guys that can finish, and they have a goalie that can keep the puck out of the net, so it can go any way. We just have to show up and play our game.
A couple things for the local fans. You haven't seen the team in action, in game action, since a little bit before Christmas. A few changes on the team. Clayton Ludlam, who many of you may remember from the first season with the Dallas Ducks. He came after Christmas in that first season. Was a key part of the team, I guess, in that stretch drive. He's been playing the last couple seasons in junior hockey in Saskatchewan. He's rejoined the team, and Coach Zaniboni, you've slid him into kind of a utility role right now. He has played both defense and forward. He gives you a physical presence on the ice, and he can put the puck at the net too.
Yeah, and I think Clayton's still. I mean, he's still getting used to everything. When he came in, he was slotted in as a defenseman. He's a '93 birth year. I mean, he's a guy that we're looking to move on to the next level at the end of the day. And I think that, you know, where he will benefit a college team would be up front. But it's always comfortable to have a guy that can do whatever you need to hop in on the decor or slide in up front. You know, he's a physical presence for sure, but you know, he's a guy that really has a great attitude of just wanting to get better every day. And you know, all of our guys I think that we've had come down from Tier 2 hockey have had that, and I think that's why we have the group that we do.
And for what it's worth, you know, team chemistry is always such a tenuous thing. Bradley Ludlam seems to have slid in really well with you guys. He's made himself at home, and you guys welcomed him pretty quick. Also, Brett McCutcheon, who was a before and after player a year ago, who ended up being just a before player, really. He's been out with the team practicing a bit. He's played 5 games so far. And again, it seems like the team really responded well to him coming back and being in the locker room, and things seem to be going really well.
Yeah, McCutcheon will always be welcomed in our locker room as far as the veterans that know him and stuff like that, and the guys that don't know him pretty much just went along and got to know him and
Right.
found out that hey, he's pretty much just like the rest of us. And Clayton, he reminds me of a big John Selly Hansen.
Oh, really?
Honestly. Those two are best friends back home, and they're pretty much identical.
Bit of a Fargo connection there, yeah. It seems to be, the Ducks seem to have a bit of a pipeline to Fargo. I think we had a guy the first year too. Like I can't, we had a forward, and we had Sully, and now we have Clayton. So Fargo is definitely a popular place for Ducks players. So if you want to set your calendars or mark your calendars, this weekend the Ducks are off. The following weekend they have one game in Edina on the Sunday evening, and then the weekend after that, which I believe is the 25th maybe, oh no, it's the very end of January, is it 21st? Oh, 31st, yeah, you're right, yep, thank you, Bucky. The 31st, the Dells will finally be back in action in front of the home fans with a 3-game series against the always interesting Asante team, the Owls, will be in town. So that's got to be something you're all looking forward to at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just excited to get back in the league play.
Yeah.
You know, where everything counts. You know, I think that pressure, it helps us play better. I think, you know, guys are always excited to play home games. But yeah, I mean, right now we got to get focused for next Sunday, and that's the only thing that's, you know, been, I can tell you, on my radar is next Sunday night.
Right. All right, so we will be back probably one day next week to talk to Coach Zaniboni, Coach Phil back, maybe another player or two, as they'll be closing in then on the Edina game. And Bradley will let you get out there and practice with the guys. And Bucky, if you want to get out there with the guys and practice, which I know you guys are anxious to do. We thank you for joining us again, and we will see you soon on Dallas Ducks Hockey this week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.